Um, Let me just say this. I was driving back from Green Bay, 540 miles over the top of Michigan on the when this game was being played. So I heard Wayne Larrivee and Larry McCarren on the Packer radio network. Larrivee really gives a good picture, Tyler. I haven't heard those guys much over the years because I've been away now, can't receive it. And then all those years I was in the press box, never heard any of that. But Larrivee, I then heard Dan Miller do quite a bit of the Lion game on their play-by-play network with Lomas Brown. And I must say, this Packer tandem far better than the Lions, Miller and Brown. Larrivee, he's not he's not trying to be, he just gives a hell of a picture. I think he's really highly paid by NFL standards, and he deserves it. Um, the winning interception against the Vikings, Dan Miller's call, he never told me where Jefferson was. He never told me how the ball was thrown horribly by Mullins. Horribly. As I saw the replay, none of that came from Dan Miller. And then in the post-game show, the Lion people kept, repeating this thing 10 times, saying how great the call was. The call was very frustrating for a listener in a car. Now let's go to Larry McCarren. Wow. He said some things that I remembered then when I watched the tape. He's really good, Tyler. And he's got no benefit of replay when he says these things. These bad runs, it takes me 10 times to try to understand who failed on the play. Larry's on it 90% of the time. He's right. And he made some comments about defensive plays with Quay Walker and whatnot. He is really good. He's so much better than Lomas Brown, another offensive lineman, Pro Bowl guy, great player, as was Larry. So much better. Lomas Brown, you just hear, nice job, nice play, nice this. He's a great person. But as a listener, I don't hear much on the radio, and it was really fun in a car, really tuned into these games. I was going back and forth. But Larry's outstanding. And for what Larrivee does, calling a game, terrific. Terrific. Packer fans are blessed with those two guys.
I'm so glad that you took that detour, because anytime I've listened to Wayne and Larry, I see the same thing, hear the same thing. I mean, the way that they can really bring to life the game, it's almost better than watching the game itself sometimes. And it's rare. It's such a skill. I think there are play-by-play men out there who try too hard, right? To have a shtick or to have a one-liner or a nickname for a player. I mean, here in Buffalo, I'd say the Bills, they miss John Murphy. He was fantastic. His absence is felt, in my opinion. Then I'm a little biased in Cincinnati because Dan Horde, he's a Western New Yorker, and every time I'm in Cincy, we end up talking. He's just a great person. I like Dan a lot. But anytime I hear his calls, I feel like he's in that Wayne vein. Like he's bringing to life this Bengals team that has kind of risen from the ashes the last three and a half seasons. Yeah, it's one of those things that I think as a kid, when you get into sports writing, first, I don't know if you were like this, Bob. First, I wanted to be a sports broadcaster. Like you want to be on ESPN, you want to be doing these games. And I can still remember being in, hell, I was probably 13 years old. And somebody gave me advice to try to call my own game, like watch a game on your own and record it and like listen back. And I did it for a full, gosh, it was like the Houston Oilers maybe, or maybe it was early Tennessee Oilers, because I remember Eddie George was playing, and it was hard. Granted, I was really young, but after that, I'm like, yeah, this is a skill that you really do have to work at, similar to writing. And then I just kind of went the writing direction, and I guess you have to do a little bit of everything today. But man, that takes years of experience and sharpening a voice, similar to having a voice in word and written word. You really have to have a voice as a play caller to bring it to life without trying too hard. Man, that's a needle to thread, isn't it? You can't just be Rick Jeanneret right away. The legendary Sabres play-by-play man here. I mean, he is a legend in every sense of the word. screaming top shelf where mama hides the cookies, right? You can't do that first day on the job. People will laugh at you. I mean, he gained a following, gained respect. I think he replaced a legend himself. Um, it's hard. It's really hard. So yes, Wayne Larrivee, Larry McCarren, kudos.